The second they start referring to themselves and your product, you are in the red zone.
There are a lot of businesses that come to us that were top dogs and they were growing and scaling and now they've plateaued. This used to work, we're still doing this, and it's like, why are you still doing that then?
Has online advertising gotten harder since 2012? And the answer is yeah, it has.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Unstoppable Marketer Podcast. With me, as always, is Mark Goldhart. How are you, Mark Goldhart?
I'm doing great.
Wonderful.
Doing good. Excited.
We're nice and warm here in Utah while the rest of the world is
going through a snowpocalypse.
Yeah, you will have made it out of the snowpocalypse by the time you listen to this episode, but
if you're on the East Coast.
South, Midwest too, right?
Yeah.
Midwest into the South. Yeah, we were just talking.
Everything west or east of the Rockies.
Yeah, we have a team in Austin, and they were it was like 36 degrees and snowing. They said it was like sleeting.
Which shuts the whole.
She said it was sleeting.
Shuts the whole town down.
Yeah, it does. Yes, it does.
They are not built for snow.
We need some snow, and we didn't get any of it, which was a bummer. So,
it's coming though.
It doesn't look like it is on any forecast.
Just wait. We're gonna have a really late February, March snow
apocalypse.
I
hope so.
Utah.
I hope so. What's going on? Let's talk. I like our episode today. I'm excited to talk about it. I've briefly talked about what we're going to talk about in my own content that kind of blew up online, and so I think it's a good topic to discuss in like bigger detail than like a 60-second video.
Yeah.
I think it was more like maybe like 2 minutes. But
if we're being honest.
So, well, let's go through a quick e-com forecast, let you guys know what's going on this week, like things we've seen. Metabugs. We've seen a lot of metabugs recently. Anything you want to say about those bugs outside of the fact that they're happening? You're the meta guy.
No, I would just say that the meta bugs, starting in the new year, we have seen 4 meta bugs. And they have impacted performance pretty dramatically on those days, although performance overall in the month has been okay.
Yeah.
Most of our clientele are doing just fine, even with a few of those days on the bug. So just be aware of it. They're probably making updates. It is what it is. Don't overreact.
Yeah. Once again, if you just see like performance dip 1 day, 2 day, like that is not a sign that you should flip everything upside down.
No.
You need to see like, 4 to 7 day trends before you really start making a lot of.
Yeah, our kind of rule and recommendation for everyone, sometimes this depends on your consideration window and what you're using for optimization. Like if you're doing 7-day click or 7-day, 1-day view or 1-day click, and there's reasons and not reasons to do all of those things, right? Just depends on your strategies. But give it at least 3 days.
Yeah. Before you go making big changes.
Like really, you should give things like a week.
Yeah.
Like you should give things a whole week because it's hard to judge something off of a Wednesday, Thursday when Wednesday, Thursdays are going to perform differently than a Monday versus like a Saturday and a Sunday and a weekend. So don't throw something out there and just like turn it off and be reactionary just because of a few bad days.
The other thing, and we, speaking of the like snowstorm that's hitting the United States, like you're seeing a lot of people talk about how their performance is dipping. And a lot of times that will happen when a major nationwide event like that happens. Right now, and sometimes it can be on the flip. I think you brought this up this morning. Like sometimes...
Well, COVID's the example of that.
Yeah, like everyone was inside, so people were on their phones.
Just shopping
more. Whereas in this case, people are inside, but they're like in prep mode for these few days.
Yeah.
Right? Like, do I have toilet paper that's going to last? Like, I can't go to the store right now.
Well, a lot of them spent a lot of money on supplies.
Exactly. So they're not thinking as much about shopping.
There's not really a stimulus check.
So if you, let's say, when did this snowstorm start? Was it a couple days ago? No, it was Friday, right?
Friday.
It's like Friday, Saturday, which would have been, today is as we're filming the 20th.
Tuesday.
Is it the 28th?
So it's 5 days ago.
Yeah. So if like around the 23rd, 24th, if you started noticing things slipping, that's probably why.
Yeah.
So pay attention to those things as well. Like have a grasp on what's happening in the world. Understand what happens to gas prices. You should probably be following either the White House Twitter account or Trump's Twitter account to see if he's tweeting something nutty. Like there are just these things that happen that change how people
Consumer behavior.
buy.
Yeah.
So, client
And guess what? We harp on this all the time, but sometimes there's nothing you can do about it.
yeah, and
So-
sometimes there's nothing you should do about it.
So don't overreact, don't underreact, but just try to take things for what they are. Like if it's a weekend and everybody is hunkered down because most of your consumers are on the East Coast and you see performance dip, like is that a reason for you to change
Your ad
what you're
strategy.
doing?
Yeah.
And I don't have the answer to that because I'm not in your account, but oftentimes the answer is no, it's not worth changing
Yeah.
because you have more people online. Maybe they're not buying right now, but you're not going to overreact just because we already know that performance is probably going to be weird for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. Client win. You got a client win for us?
UGC,
Uxie is good.
UGC. So
User generated content.
yes, and Spark ads and branded content, partnership ads, whatever you want to call them, white label or whitelist.
Yeah.
We think going forward, there's probably going to be a premium to this type of content with AI. A lot of people want to know that what they're seeing is coming from a person and it's not just curated through AI.
Yeah.
Or just, it's an AI model. So we have seen some pretty important improvements in accounts, including reach, better reach metrics, better conversion metrics, using this type of content this year. And in the last, we always have, and we've talked about it for a while, but I just think it's almost getting better because there's more and more people commenting on ads that aren't even AI, but if they think it's AI,
Yeah.
you get a lot of negative comments on there saying like, oh, that's an AI.
Yeah.
So the consumer's already trying to filter out AI.
Yeah.
So we know that this is a trend that's just starting. How it totally shakes out in the next 6 months or 2 years or whatever, who knows? But it does appear that especially on social media, there's an averse reaction to AI models.
Yeah. For sure.
So be careful if you're using them.
Yeah.
We're not saying don't, but be careful for 2 reasons. One, it does appear in our accounts that people don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, if you're using them in any kind of like testimonial way, it is an FCC violation.
Yeah. The FTC could come down hard on you. And the fee per violation is over $51,000.
Which is a fabricated testimonial, right? Or
Yeah, it's a fake testimonial.
yeah.
Right? So you can have UGC that says, we just launched, Apple just launched the new iPhone. Here are the colors. Go check it out.
That's AI
Factual,
generated.
yes,
UGC AI.
They can be AI models, fake people that
or
are
explaining the product.
yes, explainers. They can, like I said, product announcements. But the moment you say something, your AI model says something like, I never lost more weight than when I took this supplement, or my dog loves XYZ,
Or I love.
or these clothes look so good on me. The moment it starts to be a personal testimony, it is a lie. It is a fabrication. And you don't see the FTC cracking down a lot on this, but I would imagine that as AI models become bigger and bigger, it will be there will be a big crackdown. And if there's not a crackdown on the FTC, what will happen is you will get
they'll
armies
start
of
cracking down on the platforms.
platforms, or there will be armies. What happens is like law firms will spin up for things just like this, and they will go out and try to find brands, companies that are doing this, and they essentially blackmail them. So they'll say something like, hey, I see that you are running 200 AI agent ads. That's $51,000 per video violation. You can either we can bankrupt you and you're going to pay millions, or you can pay us $500,000 right now and we won't report this.
Yeah. So the point, and just to give the actual definition here, is if you're using AI, people models,
yep.
You have to be very careful about anything that is a reflexive noun or pronoun or reflexive verb.
Yeah.
So the second they start referring to themselves and your product,
you're in trouble.
You are,
or in the potential. You're just vulnerable.
You are in the red zone of potentially getting a big time fine. And
the crap kicked
not just a fine, but like you could also just get sued. So maybe it's not the federal, commission that's coming down on you, but it is, like Trevor said, it's a law firm. It's a consumer filing a complaint that you are misleading.
And this happens all the time. Like, I'm not going to go into the story, but we have paid personal money for somebody coming after us for us doing something we had no idea that we had violated. And that the rest of the whole world was doing the same thing.
Everyone in e-com knows about it. It's just the ADA.
Yeah. Happened like 6 years ago. Our site wasn't ADA compliant. We had to pay $25,000, because it was a cut in half of what the FTC was going to do to us. And it sucked big time.
Yeah.
As a newer emerging brand who doesn't have tons of capital. So anyways, let's talk about, let's go into our topic. Okay. And I want to start, I think the best way is, so I posted a piece of content this week based off of a tweet you sent me, right? You sent me a tweet from this guy named @DrewFallon12 saying the Honest Company shuts down D2C. That's the headline.
Sorry, Elon. Tweet is just a better word than an X or a post.
Agreed. So essentially what this Drew Fallon guy, he's got the quarterly revenue earnings from a screenshot from 2022 to end of 2025. You'll see the bar graph of revenue as it pertains to each quarter, and then you'll see a line graph that represents the marketing efficiency rate. So how efficient their marketing dollars are going, right? So it's essentially revenue divided by spend.
Spend divided by revenue.
Spend divided by revenue, right? And what you see is it's
the inverse equation of
ROI. You see it towards the end of Q3 in 2023, marketing efficiency rate is at its highest it's ever been. And it takes a massive nosedive from 2023 all the way down to 2025. So it gets cut in half, which means that it eats majorly into their profits. And yes, revenue increases, but at the end of Q4, revenue starts to decrease in Q5. And so the Honest Company decides to shut their D2C. Hey, this is not profitable the way we want anymore. So now when you go to Honest,
or at least compared to their
what it used to
retail
be.
strategy.
Yeah. So now you can buy it in places like Walmart and Target. And if you go to their website, and by the way, I should have probably explained this for those of you who don't know. The Honest Company is they are a D2C, a direct to consumer darling. Like these guys started. I don't know if you're at your computer and you can look this up. Maybe Maddox.
They were founded in 2014.
It had to have been 2010 to 2015, I would guess. And it was founded by Jessica Alba. And Jessica Alba Jessica Alba was the babe when I was in high school. She was the actress of actresses when I was in high school, which was the 2006 time is when I graduated. So she started that. Very relevant. They were the very first.
She was our generation's, what's her name?
No, Megan Fox was also kind of in that same time.
I guess she kind of was, huh?
Yeah.
No,
I'm curious what you're saying. Our generation's.
we were just talking about her. Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, this generation's Sydney Sweeney.
Our generation.
Our generation was Jessica Alba. This generation is the Sydney Sweeney.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? I can see that.
Right.
Yeah. Did you get the date? When it was founded? Yeah. 2012. So been around for 14 years. They were the like first clean self-care product for babies. I think they started in the baby space, like organic diapers, wipes, diaper rash cream. Like I remember my kids, like I had my first kid in 13. So yeah, and we were using like their diaper rash cream.
Yeah, they're the ones who proved the model that people would overspend for diapers.
Yeah. And then they got into like more adult self-care as well.
Oh, so, they did?
Yeah. Yeah, so you can buy like, my wife has some of their stuff like that she uses for like moisturizers and that kind of stuff,
I did not know that.
Yeah. And now you've since had people like Native has come out.
Native deodorant.
And they do the self, the clean self-care world. And so anyways, what happened with Honest Company is like, they're this, they enter the market in two ways. One, hey, you're celebrity backed. Two, these products are harmful to your body and we're going to create something that quote unquote is not harmful to your body or less harmful to your body. So they stand out in a big way. They take off. And now in the era of,
they were valued at $1 billion. They were one of the first to get to $1 billion valuation
in the DTC space.
Yeah.
And now they're done. They've shut it off. And so the question is why? Like why, what happened to this brand whose profitability was so high, their marketing efficiency ratios were so good to come crashing down to the point where the board, the investors say it's no longer worth it. Now, what we're not saying, by the way, is that the Honest Company is failing. Like we're not saying that because they're obviously crushing it in their wholesalers.
I think their revenue is up. It's just profitability on.
No, revenue is starting to trickle.
Is it?
Yes, it definitely is starting to trickle.
But profitability on the D2C side was
dropping. Obviously wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Based off of their OpEx and everything. So the question is what why? Traeger did this same thing in October of 2025. So Traeger is they pioneered this like idea of if you want Texas barbecue or Louisiana barbecue, you don't have to go to Texas or Louisiana anymore. You can do this in your own backyard. We just created this smoker that allows you to do that. And
they, the technology.
And they blew up because before, I don't know if
kind of turned it into like a cultural thing.
When we were living at home with our parents, smokers didn't exist. You had to build your own smoker.
Well, you build them, but you could. I mean, there was the smokers. You can get the add-ons for like a barrel grill.
Yeah. They're few and far between, really hard.
Those existed. They were just hard.
So Traeger pulls out. Now, I think the reason why Traeger pulls out is a little different, just because I think people buy grills at Home Depot and Walmart.
Yeah.
Like that's a really big, expensive thing to ship. So, but let's talk about it. Like, what are your thoughts? Like,
my thoughts are that Traeger, I don't even want to consider Traeger as part of it, but the real question is, are these canary in the coal mines moments? Like are these canaries that are giving us a warning of what's going on?
Explain the canary in the coal mine, because I like the analogy.
Do you know where that comes from? Do you know why they put canaries in coal mines?
I know why, but I don't know where it comes from. They put it in because canaries would die, and
the gas.
If a gas was emitting and the canary stopped singing or tweeting or making noises or moving, people would go.
Then you would know you'd have to get out.
Yeah.
So are these canaries in the coal mine right now where other people need to be wary of D2C as a channel?
Yeah.
And my take is no. I think you're talking about companies that are in just totally different situations. So Traeger, for example, we're talking about $500 to $1,000 minimum AOVs. We're talking about,
Probably more like $2,500.
and then on top of that, you're talking about shipping. What's the cost of shipping a Traeger?
Those things weigh so much.
So by the time you're shipping a Traeger,
It probably costs the same to ship it. Like, I bet it costs us like the same to ship like a motorcycle, like an e-motor.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
Like I bet they weigh the same.
So like by the time you ship an individual Traeger, the shipping costs, the margins, the advertising, well, you're probably, well, not probably, you clearly are more profitable just selling them at Home Depots.
Totally. Right? Because everything is shipping probably directly from
Because you're
freight.
shipping 1,000, yeah, like it's going directly there. You can ship all of them at once.
You're not having to ship to your warehouse and then ship to a location. It's shipping directly
Yes.
from manufacturer there. Yeah.
It's the economies of scale. So like it's going to be more profitable at their size of a company.
Yeah.
Now, Traeger 10 years ago, when you're just starting out and like you can't really send, like Home Depot's not placing an order for 30,000 Traegers or whatever.
Well, it takes online chatter
Then
and success.
yeah,
oftentimes
so it's
for a
probably
wholesaler.
at that point was fine for you to be in D2C. But at this point, look, they're public, right?
I think so.
But you're just to the point that it just doesn't make sense. Like it's just profitable and everyone knows who you are.
So I think
You're going to pick it up.
I think you're right in the sense that like Traeger's probably not the best.
So I don't even like to consider them. And then if you go to Honest Company, I think it's the same story, but just different. Like they're very big. They're a big company now. And when they were just first starting out, like, yes, has online advertising gotten harder since 2012? And the answer is yeah, it has. But also, if you're a brand under $100 million, like no one's placing Walmart and Target and whatever. They're not placing these orders with you.
Especially these massive, insane orders.
What's more profitable for you at the beginning? Probably D2C.
Yeah.
It's the only place you're going to make profit.
Yeah.
But as you get to a certain size, it just depends on your business model.
Yeah.
And also, I would argue with Honest Company, it's expensive to ship diaper wipes. Like it's expensive to ship some of their things. They're heavy.
Sure.
In terms of just like the size of them and how heavy they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, and liquid, like they sell soaps and,
yeah.
like
So
those
like
things
when people are ordering enough, it's probably like, hey, is this worth it?
Yeah. With the rise of what's happening in cost.
Yes. And
right?
the answer for them was no. Like it's obviously clearly more profitable to just go retail wholesale. So if you are a business and if you're listening to this podcast and if you're doing over $100 million, then a year, maybe these types of moves might make sense for your business.
Yeah. Especially if you're like your unit economics are higher.
Yeah. It just depends on your business and the cost of operation. But my bet is that most of these companies that are moving, they get to that size and, they're kind of like, hey, this makes more sense to be more profitable. We're going over here. They're probably still advertising. They're probably still running. So it's not like they're just not running ads anymore. They're not advertising. They're just going ghost town. So the point being is, irregardless of what you're doing in terms of where you're selling, you still have to market and advertise your product.
Yeah. Yeah. Like for example, like we looked at Traeger, like Traeger is not running a single ad in Meta right now, which is where probably the people who are listening are running the majority of their ads.
Right.
Right. So
and they're letting most of their partners cover search too.
Yeah.
So like Home Depot.
Yeah, exactly. They're not bidding personally on a lot
Yeah.
of search terms.
So like if I go and search them right now,
If you type in Traeger, Home Depot's going to pop up. Walmart's going to pop up. Maybe they do it on Amazon. I don't know if they do.
no, I don't.
Lowe's is going to pop up.
Yeah. Literally you type in Traeger and it's the first sponsored result for like search ads is Traeger. But if you go to, which everyone just looks right at the shopping, it's Home Depot, Scheels, Ace.
Yeah. Yeah, but what Traeger does is they have tens of thousands of creators that they essentially sponsor as athletes. Like that's how that works for them. Like you have, like there's a big movement of people who cook, And they make sure that there are a certain amount of people who are cooking only with Traeger products, Traeger pellets, everything, right? And that's how they spend their marketing dollars, on things like that, probably events as well, and then probably on displays and setups within these like retail locations. So I mean, no, I think you're right in the sense that this is not a canary in the coal mine. However, it is and maybe you're a good analogy. Is that an analogy or a metaphor? It's an analogy, right?
Oh, man.
Come on. I feel like you would know the answer to
that. Well,
because they're very similar. It doesn't matter. Let's say it's an analogy. Okay. There is a different analogy probably here that it's not a canary in a coal mine, but things are changing. And how you stand out, how you stood out in 2012 is no longer how you stand out in 2026. For example, one of those changes that's taking place right now is like live selling is becoming bigger than it's ever been. And I know a lot of us have been like resistant to the TikTok shop, live selling, social commerce space, but it's not decreasing. It's only growing. How you used to stand out on social media was like, let me take a beautiful picture of what this meat platter looks like.
Yeah.
And it used to blow up with the recipe. But instead now, like what's going to work is actually the behind scenes footage of how somebody from start to finish smokes that meat. Or from start to finish, how somebody creates the clean product and how they use their certain ingredients that other companies aren't willing to use. This podcast is brought to you by BFF Creative. BFF Creative is a software that meets services. Any marketing collateral you need, whether that's ads, emails, print designs, or social media, all you have to do is submit a request and one of BFF Creative's qualified designers will create a design for you and it'll be completed in 2 to 3 days. BFF Creative allows you to submit as many requests and as many revisions as you can with just one monthly fee. And the best part is that it's month to month. No contracts, no hidden fees, no nothing. And if you use promo code Unstoppable30, you'll get 30% off for your first month on us. Just go to bffcreative.co, pick your plan, and sign up today. Or have you heard of Vital Farms? You guys know who Vital Farms is? They with
the eggs.
The eggs. They came out, and one of the big things that they've been doing is like there's this, there's a lot of organic, grass-fed-y,
the organic movement, yeah.
Yeah, and they're coming
There's
out.
also organic and there's free range.
Yeah, and there's a lot of controversy between like, well, what's better and what actually matters.
Yeah.
And what they're doing right now with their content is like they're just showing they're showing their chickens. Like no one will show their chickens in that space because I can't remember what it is, if it's organic or free range or what.
Well, it's because you can say organic, but that doesn't mean the organic are often still feeding their chickens soy.
Yeah, they're
and they're also feeding them. Anyways, it's just like it reduces the quality. This is what they say.
Yes.
It reduces the quality of the nutrition in the egg.
So what's happening is they're trying to get ahead of it to say, okay, we're actually going to start showing our chickens and how they eat and how things look. So it's not this like hen house of millions of chickens on top of each other eating corn and we can slap the word organic on it.
Yeah.
Right. So the point I'm trying to make is there are ways to be relevant, even though you might have launched a long time ago and you were the king or queen of the business, Honest is, but there's other people who've come in and eaten a lot of that market share. And obviously there's a relevancy that has made it so that their costs started to rise in a way that it just didn't make sense for them to be there anymore. So,
and maybe that has to do with the tariffs.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a piece of it.
Maybe that has to do with other things that we're not aware of. So, but ultimately, we are seeing people succeed. Like D2C is still alive and well, and it's going to continue to grow year over year. but where are you as a business, and what makes sense for your business is totally independent.
Yep. And D2C is always going to be the best place, especially in those early stages.
I mean, it's the only place.
Yeah. Unless you know someone.
Or you have like a brick and mortar shop on Main Street or something.
Yeah, or like, we know the founders over at Built Bar, and they created a protein milk company called Spilt.
Yep.
They had built this, 9-figure business in the Built Bar space. And because of that, like I think they just went direct, like right into wholesale. I think you can buy their stuff online. They're Spilt online.
Yeah, but they went direct into.
They were able to get into their other channels because they had created all these relationships. So that's obviously a different scenario, So there are ways, like if you know the right people, you can get into wholesale. But for the most part, you gotta go D2C.
Well, we also just had Midday Squares on here. Like they started.
Yeah, they started online.
Yeah. / trying to get into some stores, and he talked about one of the first people that gave him a shot in their store up there in Montreal. But does it make sense for Midday Squares to be primarily a D2C company? And the answer is no.
No, but they are, right? I think he said like 30 or 40% of their business still is.
Still is, but
which is awesome.
It still means majority is not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's probably a smart thing. Like you want more and more and more space in stores for that type of product.
Yeah. Consumables. Great space for that. So
also being in a store is a form of advertising too.
Yeah. And you obviously have to pay, like, we've been in store, like I've done brick and mortar stuff, and we not only, you pay to get your product in there, right? So like, for example, if my cost of goods is 20%, and my, 20%, and my average order value is $100, that means I'm making $80, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get into a store, it's oftentimes 50% or more is what your costs are going to be. So like that's like they call it keystone pricing. So either
because they need to make profit
to 50,
too, right?
And then they sell it for 100, or sometimes it's like for Costco, it would be even more. Maybe like now my margins are 70% and I'm only making $30, but then they're going to sell so many for me.
Yeah.
So that's where your costs come into play, as well as, some, if you want like certain, like them to push it a certain way, sometimes you got to pay a little bit more too. So for displays and all that kind of stuff. But the key here is like the world's changing. There are a lot of businesses that come to us that were top dogs and they were growing and scaling, and now they've plateaued. And sometimes they're decreasing. The question you have to ask yourself isn't always, okay, should we pull out and just go wholesale? Because a lot of times that doesn't work, right? They might be 90%.
Or sometimes like, are we even a viable business?
Yeah. So the question is like, you just have to change what you're doing. I see what happens is like, we'll go and talk to some of these brands and they'll be like, well, this used to work. We're still doing this. And it's like, why are you still doing that then? Like if it's not working, you got to do something different. Even though you may have 10 years of this is how we posted, or this is how we created, or these are the types of offers that we were doing that made us a $10 million business, but now we're a $4 million business.
Yeah, let's just take a client of ours recently. This is like a little bit of a brag, but just to illustrate to everyone who's listening to this, we onboarded them last year, and they were saying they were legitimately worried that they might not have a viable brand anymore because they were going down year over year for 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this might not work
anymore. They were
anymore.
at like what, 25 million?
Yeah.
And now they were like around 10.
And so they were like, what are we doing? Do we even have a viable brand? It's like, well, you have a good product, so clearly you have something, but the strategy just wasn't in place for them anymore. And what was happening is that they were losing new customers quickly, year over year. Yeah. And then that was compounding. It didn't look like it at first, but then it compounded into the returning customer problem for them.
Meaning they weren't growing their new customers year over year, and then just what naturally happens with products is like your returning customers, if it was up here, starts to dwindle.
Yeah. Well, quarter 4, they finished up they were up 200%, you know,
In
or
new
100,
customers.
150% new customers in
Yeah.
quarter 4. And so far we're not very far into quarter 1, but so far in quarter 1, same thing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't and they're more efficient, by the way, in acquiring new customers right now than they were a year ago or
This
2
time
years.
last year.
Within the last 2.5 years, they're more efficient right now than they were in the past. So this idea that it's like, Honest Company's pulling out of D2C, it's not working. It's like, nah, it just depends on obviously your strategies as a company. They're a big company. They're probably in a different spot than most of the people listening to this. But the other caveat here is, like you said, you probably just don't have the right strategy.
Yeah.
And if you change the strategy, you can acquire new customers and then you can build that pipeline again. And you can do it even more efficient than what's happening in the last 3 years. Is it going to be as efficient as 2014? No.
Yeah.
But sorry, like, we're never going back. Like, we're not going back to 2014.
The good old days.
Maybe there's an ad channel that pops up and everyone exploits it for 6 months and it's awesome. But like, it is what it is, you know, like it's hard to do business. Business is hard. Marketing is hard. But when you do it right and you have the right strategies and the right expectations, then you can absolutely build and start growing very quickly.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, long story short, not canary in the coal mine moments. IMO.
But indications that if things aren't working, you need to change.
Well, indications that
some
like profitability is important.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So don't grow and just kill yourself to grow.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a subscription product, you have different ways of growing, but without having to be first order profitable. But yeah.
Agreed.
All right.
I like it. No, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Also, it's an analogy.
That is what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Was an analogy.
Analogies are used as a logical bridge.
Metaphors are
just like time is a thief. That's a metaphor.
all right. Okay.
Because it's not literally a thief.
Yeah. All right. There you go. See you guys. Thank you for listening to the Unstoppable Marketer podcast. If there's a brand, campaign, strategy, or marketing tactic that you want us to review, please DM me at the Trevor Crump on Instagram or TikTok, or at the Unstoppable Marketer podcast. And of course, if you got value from this episode, or if you like it whatsoever, please make sure you're subscribing, you're liking, you're following, and for sure, go leave us a review to let us know that we're doing a good job. We will see you guys next time.